Just a quick video here to answer a question. I had somebody ask me if I tried to help Eric Wennstrom. Well, I don't know Eric Wennstrom. I've never spoke to Eric Wennstrom. However, there was some really shady stuff that happened in Eric Wennstrom's case, and I found it in public records. Okay. His protective order stuff was abuse of power, abuse of process. The police didn't have a search warrant, but went to his house and looked in the windows. They told someone that got a protective order against Eric it was okay to fly a drone over Eric, even though they got a protective order against Eric, claiming he did that. They lied about a bunch of stuff. And so, though I didn't contact Eric, and like I said, I don't know Eric, even though everybody says she knows Eric, she's working with him. I don't know what I'm working with him on or what the benefit is. They just are, they'd say that, and then the courts go, okay, it's an Eric thing. Okay, we got Eric derangements in. Anyway, I said, did I do anything to try to speak out? Well, you've seen all my postings and stuff online, but I sent Eric Wennstrom's attorney complaints against Libby Wennstrom, ethics complaints, criminal complaints. I sent him information, but he wasn't really working for Eric. He was working in a neutral kind of way. He wasn't really aggressive about it. He was Eric's attorney in the divorce, but then he became Eric's attorney with the protective orders after the fact or whatever. But he didn't really care. Okay. Now, first of all, Eric's attorney, which for some reason is not on the top of my head his name. I don't even know why that is, but I forgot this moment. But he was running for judge at the same time as Mindy Walker. Right? So he doesn't want to tick Mindy off, right? So he's playing it neutral, but he didn't bother to investigate anything. All these people that got protective orders against Eric, he was clueless. I saw him in a court hearing, and two of them that got a protective order, he said they were married, right? They weren't married. One of the people had a different husband, and this guy that was in there that he said was her husband was not her husband. He didn't even research the basics. So I don't think he did right by Eric, and Eric spent a lot of time in jail over it. The Eric Wennstrom never had a chance. The Port Townsend corruption machine, all the judges that turned on him, he was banned from the Maritime Center, right? Decades. He's Salish Rescue, and he's helping people, and he's doing all this stuff, and he's going through a hard time, and they choose Libby because she's a council member, and they ban him from the wooden boat. They ban him from everything he loved. And he was going through a depression, and he poked at him a little bit too much, probably said some inappropriate things. He'd been drinking. He was going through a depression. They're supposed to help people like that, but they don't. And so to ban him from public property, right? And it's funny because Judge Mack issued a protective order banning Eric from, anyway, I'll read that to you. But what I think is that I'm alleging, and I'm going to prove it another time, that Judge Mack violated federal and state law because he banned Eric Wennstrom from federal property, the Maritime Center, and some other things. I'll give you the details later. But then in my recent appeal, he said that was against federal and state law for Salish Rescue to ban me from the Maritime Center, for me to be banned from saying Salish Rescue, for me to be banned from the Wooden Boat School and other public places. But I am banned from the YMCA. Anyway, more on that later. I just wanted to answer the question of, did I try to put anything in the courts to help Eric? And I sent his attorney stuff directly. He completely ignored me, and he didn't even know the parties. He didn't really care or wasn't really aggressive to help Eric. I think that he was secretly, helping or liked the opposition, but that's just what I allege. I think he's political. He was running for judge. I think he still aspires to be a judge in Port Townsend, and so he didn't want to make waves. Well, in the Eric Wennstrom case, there's no way to represent him if you don't want to make waves. Okay. The only attorney in Port Townsend that has any balls or brains or backbone that I've ever known is Nat Jacobs. And because of Nat Jacobs and myself and this other gal, Michael Almain's still alive. Many of the people that they do what they did to Michael killed themselves. But Nat Jacobs, believing in Michael and fighting for him and telling the truth and fighting the adversity the best he could, perhaps saved his life, at least helped save his life. So Nat Jacobs is a really good guy. And in watching the public defenders like that, Jack Range and other guy, Davis or whatever, they're good. They're really good. Sam Feinstein's now a public attorney of Feinstein and Faber. Ew. Very, very corrupt. He's also a pro tem judge in Clallam County. I mean, they have their hands in everything. Okay.